Not every day you get that. Yeah, I gotta record it for some people that are gone. No, well, it did now, but m squared plus 6m plus 5. Does anybody know how to factor that?
Divide.
Yep, you want to see if there's a number that goes into all of them. Is there a number that goes into 1, 6, and 5 other than 1?
No, what's the X?
You could do the big X, yeah?
5 and 6.
Do you guys do the big X? Do most of you guys like that? With
I
Is
do.
that
I
okay?
like it to figure out what I want.
Oh, okay.
Figure out the numbers.
So maybe I'll just draw a big chart down here to make it easier. All right, guys, 2 things to learn today. Let's keep rocking and rolling it. What numbers multiply to 5 that we want to try?
1 and 5.
Okay, good. Perfect. Do 1 and 5 add to 6?
I don't know.
Yeah, you know that. Ivy said yeah. 1 plus 5 is 6. Yeah. Oh, okay.
No, those numbers don't work. No.
Why don't they work? You're being silly. They work.
Oh yeah, I know.
I was like, guys, 1 plus 5, 6. The math B people know that. You guys can do that. Come on, you're in algebra too. Use your calculator if you need it, okay? So that's how you factor the top one. So I want you to make like a little chart because sometimes you can factor multiple parts of this. So anybody know how to factor this top one?
Wait, Miss Amanda.
Yes. Yes.
So is it still gonna be like the parentheses m plus 1 parentheses and then the other one right next to it?
Yeah, I just couldn't fit it.
Divide both by 10m.
Yes, you would. 10 and yes, rocking it. Just give it a little.
That will be
little
m and n.
What's 70 divided by 10?
No, that's 10, Miss Amanda. Oh, you're doing that one.
Oh, you're doing this one down here.
7.
Good. So that is greatest common factor factoring. So you're going to have to be able to look at these and be able to know where to start. So if it has a greatest common factor, you want to do that first. Do you know what goes out front?
An n.
Oh, you guys are good. It's pretty much a bunch of factoring all put together. I know it's a lot, but the good news is this unit, this next quiz only has 3 topics on it. The one we learned yesterday, the 2 that we learned today. So tomorrow, Thursday, you'll have a little review and a small mini quiz. I am so happy with how the mini quizzes are going versus the big tests. And if you don't feel happy with it, you can do corrections on it too. But I think it's a little easier for us to maintain knowledge, something like that. Maintain, retain. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Anyone know how to, I think you already said it, Mac, actually. Did you know how to do the bottom part? Good news is we're almost done factoring it because the 3 is just at the bottom. Okay. Divide by 10m. Oh, just 10 or 10m?
By 10m.
Just m.
No, 10m. Divide by 10m.
Well, I did that.
Now you get m.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So you get an m left over. Okay. I get it now. Just m, that's it. What about over here? So I can just like put plus 0. What's 10 divided by 10?
1.
Yeah, I think I gotta put a 1 there as a placeholder because right, those numbers divide. That was a hard one. I had to check it. If they cancel, pretty much if it has a plus sign, you just want to make sure you put invisible 1. And we got our 10 in out front. That is a lot to look at. So when we're looking at this, is there anything that looks like the same between the top stuff and the bottom stuff? Anything that can cross out because it's the same?
The m+1 and the m+1.
That's 7.
No,
Oh, you mean this one?
yeah.
Okay, sorry, I almost missed that.
Duh.
Duh. Okay, so I think it's because I didn't write them side by side. I don't know. See, that's why I need you guys. You keep me in line. Anything else?
10m.
Good. And you can just like leave it like that, or you can rewrite it. Pretty much whatever's left over at the top, you would write at the top, and whatever's left over on the bottom. Oh yeah, sure. I'll have to, can I just squeeze it at the bottom over here? m+5, m-7 would go on the top, and the 3 would go on the bottom. It does make it better, yeah. Like, so if you're taking a test, it does make it easier for me to grade if you do rewrite it. But if you forget to rewrite it, or you're like, okay, that's just a little too much. If you have the chart correct, then you're gonna get points. Righty. You didn't miss too much. I just did the first one. Anyone want to briefly summarize what we're kind of doing in their own little words? Oh, grab your paper on the way in. Yeah, forget about that. Anyone want to briefly describe for the couple people who came in what we did? You're like, factoring. Okie dokie. All right. If you missed that one, I would say just start fresh with us on the second one, and then yeah, because sometimes copying down it's a little confusing. All righty, so you're gonna draw a chart. You're gonna put your stuff in the chart that you see. So there's 7. There's an x squared minus 4x minus 60. Not coughing. It's like this water is doing it for me. I need more Tic Tac today, I guess. I need to start bringing my lozenges in. When I talk too much, that's what happens. Does anybody know how to factor the bottom one? I'm gonna have to put it here. Okay. Alrighty. I tried to give enough paper that I could fit what I'm throwing down, but I don't have enough space.
Maybe not do as many problems.
Yeah.
We can just write over problems.
That's a good point. So maybe we could skip some that look like each other.
I forget what the numbers are.
Oh, yeah, what you get?
Negative.
Okay. Do you guys feel like that works? Okie dokie. Okie doke. What about the purple one? Anyone have any thoughts about a greatest common factor for 2 and 12? are 2x3 and 12x2. Mm-hmm. Yep. Do you guys know why it's x2 and not x3?
Because you can only take an x2 out of 12x.
Yeah. So you take the smallest one, the smallest exponent. Good. So if you missed a lot of unit 2 or unit 2 is really difficult for you, these problems might be a little hard in the beginning. So remember, I told you guys factoring is going to come back around. So I know some people struggle with it. So if you don't know where we got something, feel free to ask. Yeah. Oh, I just dropped it down because you can't factor 7. Yeah, that's a good question.
You can 1 and 7.
Well, you don't have to because it's not it doesn't look like this. But if it was like x squared with a number in the middle plus 7, but if it's just a lonely number, you just drop it down. That's a good question. Very good, Ivy. Anyone know what's going to happen over here when we divide? With the So the 2's cancel. What happens with the x's? x3, x2. Yep. Good job. Just x. Very nice, Ivy. Good memory on that one. And then over here, anybody know 12 divided by 2? Perfect. Good. I don't know what happened with my 2. I think this pen, the G2 pens bleed a little bit. Oh, the bottom? Oh, it is. You're right. Okay. So we can do the same thing. There we go. Okay, we can do the same number out of there. All right. Everyone see it okay? I don't know if I can zoom in a lot closer, but I can try. And then what would go out front? Yeah, you're right. So when you look at it, if you just came in, what I told them was you're going to make a big box with 4 parts. Your big box, you're going to look for things that are the same on the top and the bottom. So Ashlyn just told me that the 2x2 is the same on the top and the bottom, so you can cross it out because they cancel each other. Anybody see anything else that can cancel each other? Nice job, Mac. Very good. Very good. So they can cancel like that even if they're like opposite across from each other, like diagonally, as long as one's top, one's bottom. Good. Very good. This is a little messy. How can we write our final answer so it looks like prettier? 7 over x minus 10 x minus 6. Good. How'd you do that part at the end? How'd you know how to write that? Beautiful. Does that make sense what Mac just said to you guys? I could not have explained that better myself. Okay, good. It's pretty much just factoring, which is I know like Mac is really good at factoring. I feel like most of you guys honestly are pretty good at it now. I was just about to be like saying everyone's name. I think you're all pretty good at factoring, but if you do feel like you don't fall in that boat or it's just a little rusty, just try your best to kind of do your big X when you can, your division. I think most of these are big X if they're 3 terms. Let me look through which ones the bottom ones are division. Do you want to skip to those ones so we know how to do them? Yeah. I do want to point out, I don't necessarily want to do the whole thing, but for number 3, you see how that top one has a 2 in front of all of them? You would need to divide all those by 2 first if you were doing that one. I didn't know if you guys needed to see one with a what's it called? A greatest common factor. You feel okay with greatest common factor? Okay. Let's do a couple of the division ones then. I think there might be, yeah, let's look at some that are a little bit longer. Because if you can do the harder one, you can do the easier one usually. You guys want to look at number 6 and we'll try to factor it out. That way you have enough time to practice on it. Yeah?
When I talked to Miss Danielle yesterday, she wanted to give me stuff, she said that that is allowed.
She just said 5 minutes or less, and I still have to let them know every time you go. You can't wait till Ivy gets back though. I like to go one at a time on the genders. Well, I know there's 2 restrooms, but because of the whole school, I like to just do one at a time. But if it's emergency, then do you have what you need already?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll just whisper to you.
No, you're good. You don't have to. Just gotcha. You're good. 5 minutes or less, what she told me. So try your best to keep it there. All right. This one has one extra step. All right. So you see how it has a division sign? If it has a division, has anyone done division with fractions before, like math with Mr. Garrett or Miss Chelsea or any of them? Good. You flip it. And you only have to flip the second one, right? So when you set up your box, just go ahead and flip the second fraction when you set it up. So you're pretty much just bringing like whatever's here into your box and whatever's here into your box, you gotta flip the second one. Do you guys want to take a moment and just try to factor the parts and then we can check it? That way you can kind of see if you're feeling okay with it. I'm going to give you a little hint and then I'll come around and check in with you. But the first one is a greatest common factor because it's only 2 things. The second one is a greatest common factor. And this one, what do you guys think this one is? Because it's 3 terms. Big old X. Okay. So I want you guys to think about what the greatest common factor is that you want to divide over here and here. And then I want you to try your big X over here. And I'll just come around and check in with you. And then we'll put the answer up once everybody is feeling okay on it. It's very similar to what we did yesterday, to be honest. I know that you're probably fine. How do you feel after coming in with it? You're pretty good at factoring, so I think you'll be a natural. It's kind of like 4 little factoring problems together. Do you have enough space on that, or do you need to like for your practice today? I'm fine if when we do our work, if you want to do it at the board, we can go around. How can I factor? You guys remember how to do it? Feeling okay with the ones we did or have any questions on them so far? That one is very good. Cool. For that one on the bottom, you're just finding numbers that multiply to 16 but add to negative 10. So you could try any numbers going to 16. You just want to make sure that they add to 10. Okay. Do you have any questions for me?
That one you can probably tell what people divide by, is a 9, and you both divide by 9, right? I usually try the smaller number first. I would put a 9 underneath both of them to divide by, like we did, here, squares. Like just a 9 under it. Yep. And then just divide the numbers, subtract the exponents. Yeah, and then just make sure you put your 9 in up front, since that's your greatest common factor. Perfect. And for this one, you're gonna do the same thing, except you know what the exponent would be on the end. Perfect, good job. You got it. Wonderful. Good. Good. Wonderful, very good, you got it. And then this one, you're going to find your numbers and multiply to 16, but add to 10 or -10. You could probably start with finding numbers that add to 10 and then adjust the signs accordingly. Yeah, you can do 2. You could try both of them negative and see if that works. There you go, good job. Perfect, you're rocking it. Factoring master. So you just do your 2 parentheses there, kind of like you did on that one. And then you see anything that can cancel out that looks like it's the same? Mhm. So you just cross them out. Anything else that overlaps or looks the same? Yeah, you got it. Perfect. So you can leave it like that, or you can rewrite it with everything that's left over on the top and everything that's left over on the bottom. Deal. Perfect. So you got the 3n squared on the top, the n minus 3. Do you have anything left on the bottom?
N-8.
Yep. So you can just put it over n minus 8 with like a big old fraction bar. Perfect. Good job. I'm impressed. Okay, factoring masters. You got it factored or figure out your big X. Do you need help with the numbers for 16?
No.
You're like, I got this. I got this. Looks like you did the first part right. Do you know what power of n you would divide by for the one on the right side? Just checking. Just checking. Sometimes that can get a little confusing for people. You feeling okay on it? That's great. Perfect. Very nice. I think you guys are starting to get the hang of it.
Go ahead and put this one up here for you guys so you can make sure you got it, your final answer right. There we go. It should look like this on the top. I have to take the 9n out. And over here, because the smallest exponent is a 2, you want to divide by n2. So it should look like that. So you're dividing 3 by 3, that can cancel. And 9 by 3 is 3. Okay. One thing I would tell you guys if you're struggling with your big X is think of the 10 as positive to start with. So don't think of it as a -10, just think of it as a positive. So think to yourself, like, what numbers do I know that multiply to 16 that could either add or subtract to 10? Anybody think of any numbers that multiply to 16 that they might want to try? Does 16 divide by 2 or by 4? Those are the only ones I think I know. So if I did 4 and 4, would that work? No, so I have to do the other one. So I'm just gonna put them in here, and when I look at it, how would I get them to be a -10? Good, they'd have to be negative. All right. This one already factored. And then you'll see that you have stuff that can cancel. Sometimes the only thing is these numbers will be different, but they'll both have ends. So if that happens, you can cancel out the ends, but the numbers would stay. We also have n-2 and n-2. So that leaves us with 3n2 on the top and n-3. And n-8 is on the bottom. Good on, doing okay on that one? All right. Let's do one more division one, and then I'll have you guys practice on this skill for a little bit. Okie dokie. So, which one do you guys want to do? Do you want to do 7 or 8? Or do you just want to kind of just do one and see if you still need help on it? Anybody have a preference on those two?
8.
Number 8? Yeah, sometimes when you get towards the bottom, you're like, ooh, that one looks a little tricky. Yeah, we can do it. Does the setup part make sense to everyone with the big chart thingy? Okay. So x squared, 7x, and 12. So there was one little step, one little thing we added, Ivy, when you're in the restroom, okay? So if it's division, Ashlyn told us we have to switch the top and the bottom of the second fraction, just the second one. You might remember in like probably 4th or 5th grade when you learned about fractions, like a long time ago, right? You always flip the second one. Oh yeah, that's 100. Yeah, let me just write that down for anyone who might need that. Keep, change, flip. That's cool. It's kind of like KFC, but backwards, which is really tasty. Yeah, I know, it kind of worked. Yeah, you're right. They can switch it up. That's a good way to remember it. That might help somebody out, right? I think it's helpful. I think that's very nice. Let me see if I can write. Oh, I'm glad you guys picked this one because that bottom one's kind of tricky to factor. Thanks for picking that one. That's a good one. Anybody want to factor one of these parts or try it out? You're like, oh, give me a second. Try. You want a hint and then you can try it on your own and then we'll make sure you got it right. Okay. So this one is a big X. Oh, you got the numbers? Yeah, you can tell us what they are if you got them already. Yeah. So Ashlyn, some people are struggling with factoring. So I'm wondering if you could tell them, like, how do you know that the numbers are 3 and 4? Because you're pretty good at factoring.
I put 12 and then I divided by a bunch of numbers and I figure out which one it is.
That's good. That's how I do it too. So you put your number 12 in your calculator and you just like divide it by things until you get 2 numbers. Good. So you do 12 divided by 2.
I usually start
12
with,
divided by,
like, the
yeah.
middle number, and I go down if it needs that,
You start with the highest number.
or the middle.
Oh, cool. That's a good idea.
Like I'll go with, I did like 5 of this. I'm like, oh, that's
Oh.
like points, 2 point long, so I went down to 4.
I just spilled it myself. Yeah, that's a good idea. You can go like high to low or low to high. I go 12 divided by 1, 12 divided by 2, 12 divided by 3. And unless I get numbers that add to 7, I don't, mess with it a whole lot. So 3 and 4 will work. So that one's done. I like to do mine in different colors. So if you want to use like colored pencils on this and it makes it easier for you, that's fine. What do you guys notice about these two before you even take the effort to factor them? They're the same. So before we factor them, we could even cancel them out. You don't even have to factor them. But if you do, that's fine too, because it's all going to cancel. But yeah, you can just cancel that stuff out right away because it matches. Kind of nice. I'm glad you guys picked this one. This one is a little bit tricky. There's two ways you can do it. You can do the square root method by taking the square root of both of them, or you can add a 0x in the middle. What do you guys prefer? Anybody? I think they're both easier for me. Do you want me to just put the 0 in there and then see if it makes sense? All right. I go like this when I set mine up, and then I do a big X. So I want you guys to think about what numbers multiply to 16, and just ignore the negative for now, that add or subtract to 0. It's a little tricky. Okay. No, that's really good. If it's a 0 in the middle, a little. No, you're fine. I'm just following the rules based on what your mother has requested. So, yes. Yes, you are good. You don't need to apologize. You're fine. That's the rules. Very simple. Yeah, where I was going with this is they have to be the same numbers. If it's a 0 in the middle, they're always the same numbers. And one's plus, one's minus. I'll leave this one up here so you can get it down, okay? You do not have to apologize. I'm just doing my thing, and it's nothing personal. It's just
You're not recording, are you?
I am. Can I finish this?
I whispered it.
All right, so x plus 4 cancels with x plus 4. Thank you for sharing that, Ashlyn, about the x plus 4s. I love that when I actually get to teach math like I get paid to do. I love that when I can do that. So we're gonna look at our final answer here as whatever's left on the top and what's left on the bottom. So we got an x plus 3 on the top and an x minus 4 on the bottom. Did I miss anything? I think that's it. There's nothing over here. There's nothing over here. We're done. That's it for that one. Nice teamwork on that one. I can't remember who all did that one. I know Ashlyn did a good piece of that, but good job, guys. All right, I'm gonna have you guys practice some on the back. So let me think about how many. I'm gonna put that back up there for you guys in a, well, I'll put it back up here in a second. Yeah, because they take a while. Why don't we start with, you can pick either the evens or the odds on the back. And then if anyone's like, well, I'm done with them and I'm getting like chatty and disruptive, just saying it how it is, then do the other ones. Or ask for your quiz if you missed it yesterday, or ask for your quiz back so you can, correct it. Think of something you can do that you guys have gotten better about it a little bit every day.